Welcome back to another video. My name is Henrik and today we're going to be looking at the updated Hyundai TUCSON. In my opinion, a very good looking car. We're going to be test driving it, look at the exterior, the interior, everything you need to know about the car and more. So let's get right into the video. The starting price of this car is going to be around 34,990 euros if you just get a combustion engine car. We have a diesel standing here that's going to start you off at 39,200 euros. Then you can also select between a couple of different variants, the Trend or the Select, the Trend, the Prime and also the N-Line. We have the Prime standing here, which in my opinion is the best. We'll look at that in a second here. The way it's standing here, it's going to cost you around 50,040 euros due to the fact that we have an adaptive suspension as well as a Cypress green color where you can choose between 7 different colors. Let's look at the front first of all, which I think looks really good. We have these 3 lights here on either sides, which just add to the design of the Hyundai TUCSON from the front. This black design here with real air intakes with one radiator on the right and one also here on the left, or right and left for your perspective. Otherwise, if you get the N-Line, you get a more aggressive design in the front. If you select just the Select variant, which is the basic one, you get full LED lights, and starting with the Prime variant, you'll be getting matrix LED lights, which are, in my opinion, a good option to get. Matrix LED lights make your life a little bit easier and just ensure a little bit more safety. And under the hood, you can select between quite a lot of different engine variants. We have it standing here with the diesel, which is going to be in the all-wheel drive system. You can get the diesel as a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive system, as well as the normal combustion engine car. We have a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder in here with 136 horsepower and 320 newton meters, 0 to 111.8 seconds with 180 kilometers an hour of top speed. I'd personally maybe even choose the front wheel drive system because that's gonna just be a little bit cheaper and also 0.5 liter less consumption. We have claimed around 5.7, I think, or 5.8 liters. And then you can also choose, we'll look at that here in a second, how much you can tow with the car. That's going to depend also if you get a manual or an automatic transmission. We also have a 48 volt system in here with a 7-speed automatic DCT gearbox. The car is going to be 4 meters and 51 long, 1 meter and 65 tall, and also 1 meter and 86 wide without the side mirrors extended. On the top, you're going to be able to put 100 kilograms of roof load on there. You can also get a panoramic window, which you can open for 1,200 euros extra. We do not have that on here. On the side, again, I think the color does look very nice. You can also get these touches here in black as well as the side mirrors. We also have keyless entry with the press of the button, which will also fold in the side mirrors, and you can obviously press it again. We only have it in the front, not in the back. If you get the N-Line variant, you'll also get this down here in the color of the car, as well as your side skirts or your wheel surroundings here, which is nice. When it comes to the wheels, we're on winter tires right now because we have the Prime variant. We will also get 19-inch rims. If you get the Select, you're going to be looking at 17-inch rims, then 18, then 19, and also for the N-Line, another 19-inch options. Otherwise, these are fairly nice. 235s in the front with 50, and in the rear, we also have 235 50s. On the other side, you will also be able to fuel up the car with 54 liters of fuel tank and a consumption, like I already mentioned, of around 5.4 to 5.9. And if you get the 5.8, depends on which value you look at. And if you choose the 2-wheel drive variant, around 0.5 less. And in the back, another, in my opinion, good design. We have this whole light bar going all the way through, and then these 2 struts going down here for your lights. The Hyundai logo up on the top, inside of the window basically. A fairly nice big window on the back here with also a little bit of a lip with another light up there. So the interesting thing is you can tow with this variant 1.65 tons. If you, however, get the diesel variant with 116 horsepower as a front-wheel drive variant as a manual transmission, you'll be able to tow 1.95 tons, so a little bit more. And then you can also put 100 kilograms on top of this thing for both variants. Then if we open the trunk, which is going to be electrical, I think I closed, no, there we go. It still does the beeping. Every Hyundai Kia car does that. Not the biggest fan of that always. Opens quite wide, and then we have a good amount of storage space in here. 546 up to 1,725. And the nice thing is we also have a 40-40-20 split or 40-20-40 split. So you can flip over the center seat just to have a nice seating position to put some stuff through. Otherwise, down here we also have a little bit of storage space where you can put like your tire mobility set, but that's about it. A 12 volt with 180 watt, and that's about it. You can also flip over the rear seats And I'm going to say it again, that's about it. That's about it. And join me in the back where we can see we get quite a good amount of space here. New room is quite plenty. We do have plastic seats here cover in the front, so you will not be able to, if you're a little bit taller, squish your knees in there quite a lot, because that's obviously going to hurt. Otherwise, footroom is also good. I can move them very far below it, so I can have a fairly good seating position. We can also move our seats, the inclination of them backwards, so even more comfortable in here, typical of Kian's Hyundai, and that is quite nice. We also have a center console where we can have, for instance, 2 cup holders. I have this big 1-liter water bottle here. That's not going to fit in there too well, but you can also flip over the whole seat here. Let me actually try it from back here, because it is a kind of a hard one to actually get right the first time. There we go. And that is the whole center console flipped over now, with the center seat flipped over. That's always quite nice. We do also have heated seats here in the back, which is another great thing. We also have sunshades in the back, so I can do this. It's quite hard to get it the first time. You did the first time around. There we go, look at that. You can also have that. And the quality here is also really good. Up top, good material. The white material also feels good. Door handle, good. The only thing on where you touch your hand most of the time is piano black, so quite a lot of stains and touches on there. You're gonna have to clean that up quite a lot. And then obviously down all the way on the bottom, hard plastic, but that's about it. Otherwise, we got our own climate control in the back here with the Prime Edition, because that's where you get your 3-zone climate. 2 USB-Cs, and again, a very nice interior. Otherwise, you also have a light up top. You would theoretically have a panoramic window if you do choose to get one, which you can also open for 1,200 euros. And typical of the Hyundai Group and Kia and Genesis, you can move our seats on the front right passenger from back here. So if you have kids, maybe don't put them on the back seat, because, well, don't put them anywhere in the car then, because they're just going to play with that the whole time. And now you join me in the inside, where you can see actually quality is fairly nice, just like in the back. We have good material on the side here, even here, piano black. I don't know why they put piano black there, where you have your hand most of the times, well, not for the driver, but for the passenger, for instance, because fingerprints in there are gonna be quite frequently. Otherwise, plastic obviously down there, but that's about it. Good material up here, a little bit of storage space right there, and again, nice material here with also your nice little design element here with your air control or air conditioning. That looks fairly nice. Glove compartment down here with a fairly decent space, and you can put 2 cup holders here, and you also have a little bit of storage space there where we have put a little bit of a bag. Inductive loading space here, which is nicely implemented into the center consoles. Quite a lot of buttons here for your different assistant modes, for your differential lock, for instance, auto hold, and stuff like that. If we start the car, first of all, listen to the engine. Fairly quiet from the inside, a little bit louder on the outside. Up here, I like the implementation that they have done here with your climatization. Looks good because you still have rotary dials and also some buttons there. For instance, you have heated, ventilated, and also heated steering wheel, which is nice. We get these seats here with the Prime Edition, which are these leather seats in white. Obviously, if you don't want white, you can also choose a black interior. I actually kind of like the white, but it does get dirty quite quickly. But with the Prime, you get, for instance, the heads-up display, digital cockpit and stuff like that. You get standard-wise with the Select as well. And you get this nice steering wheel here with physical buttons. Again, very nice. We have adaptive cruise control in here. You can also opt for a bigger Autobahn assistance. You get that with the Trend, if I'm not mistaken, the Autobahn assistance. We also have the Grell sound system in here. I've actually not heard of Grell before, but you get that with the Prime, which is also not bad at all. Let's also look at the infotainment display here real quick. Typical, very user-friendly design from Hyundai and Kia. It's also the updated one, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, now wireless. And if we go into the maps, for instance, it's all quite user-friendly and quick to use. And otherwise, one thing is also always pretty cool. You can go into the sport, look at soccer, for instance. And if we look at Champions League for today, maybe it's not going to load because we don't have internet in here right now, but you can see the live score and stuff like that, and also look at like how your teams are performing. If we look at the reversing camera, we can see quality is fairly decent. We could theoretically also get a full 360-degree camera, but we do not have it on here. We just have parking assistance on the front and in the rear, as well as a camera with decent quality and trajectory lines, which also move with your steering input. Otherwise, let's go into the drive and, well, let's take it for a spin. We do have auto hold in here. The surrounding view is also fairly decent. You can see out the back, quite decent, because there's also that window on the side there by the C pillar, and therefore not bad. The pillar up here, the A pillar, is also not the biggest, so again, quite comfortable. 136 horsepower. We do have different modes. If we, for instance, go down here, we have Eco, Sport, and also Normal. Sport, it's going to have your Newton meters, your RPMs a little bit higher. And there's a kick. Obviously nothing tremendous because we're just looking at around 136 horsepower and 320 Newton meters. Lane assist is annoying me a little bit here, so if you hold the button down for the lane assist long enough, it will eventually turn off, as you can see right now. But otherwise, you can see the engine is also, obviously if you kick it down, a little bit louder, but not that loud at all, and still fairly comfortable. Obviously you will notice it's not the most sporty feeling car. There's going to be quite a lot of body lean, and in general not the most direct feeling of the steering wheel, but still, if you're just driving this car in the city, longer distance, it's really nice to drive. We do have the adaptive suspension in here, which does allow us to just glide over these bumps a little bit nicer. It's around €1,000 extra, and I think it's a decent option because really I've not had any problems with the suspension, and it feels really nice. Well, not obviously completely premium like, but still you're gliding over these bumps, it smoothens them up quite nicely and just makes you enjoy the ride. We get the heads-up display where you can see your relevant information, your speed, your lane assist, and also your distance to the person in front of you, stuff like that, so quite nice. We do have that stupid EU warning assistance with the new update from all the Hyundai cars and Kia. You can just hold down on the steering wheel on the volume knob for a couple of seconds and it will now turn it off. Otherwise, we can go back into the normal mode with the buttons down here, go back into the normal. One thing that's also always quite nice, we can press the camera and have it looked at any different speeds, so always good. So you can look out the back. If you have a 360-degree camera, you can obviously look at that all the time. As you can see in the front here, since we have refueled the car, which mostly includes city driving, we've had an average consumption of 7.8 liters. Put that down to 7.4 because I was standing in front of a washing way, whatever it's called, washing lane, where you wash your car. I don't even know what it's called. It was at 7.4, so keep it at 7.4. Claimed is around 5.4 up to 5.9. So definitely a lot higher, but we've been driving in city, and diesels are not the most efficient when it comes to city driving. I will also be doing a consumption test of this car, so a video on the top right corner if you're going to be interested in that, where we'll be looking at all different consumptions at 80 to 100 behind the truck, 120, 140, and also top speed. But otherwise, we can also look at the long consumption of this car, which has been since the last time this car has been resetted, which was 3,600 kilometers. That mostly includes a little bit more sportier driving and delivery of the car to different people, which is mostly Autobahn driving, and we've been having 8.9 liters there. I can't comment on how sporty those people have been driving and at what speed, so take that with a grain of salt. Again, full consumption video on the top right corner if you're interested in that. What I also noticed here on the blind, you also have this, which is nice. If you, for instance, flip this out over here, you can obviously increase that a little bit just to have more cover, which is always nice, but otherwise a good sunshade as well. And here, with this little bit more of a bumpy road, I can definitely feel that not air suspension, but suspension doing a good job of smoothing everything out, and it really does not ache your back. It is quite nice. What you'll notice when driving this also in the city, you have your Newton meters quite quickly at 2,000 up to 2,250. That's where you have your full 320. So you'll get off the line quite quickly and also drive fairly comfortable in the city. You will notice the diesel is it gets pushed a little bit. It sometimes gets a little bit louder when you're driving in the city, but still I've not had any issues with this. And what I like about the interior is the standard equipment that you get with this car. It is so well equipped. Great material, 50,000 euros. Yeah, engine might not be the highest end for 136 horsepower, considering at Mazda you can get a 150 horsepower engine for around 37,000 euros, so quite a lot cheaper, but that is also the starting price of that engine, so keep that in mind. The way that it is equipped here, I think it's very competitive and good looking. I love the way it's laid out in the center here, and it just makes you for a great cabin. I would personally also pick up the panoramic window because you can open it, and for 1,200 it just opens the interior a little bit and makes it more comfortable in here. But still, these seats offer quite comfortable features. The cooled seats, however, if you put it on 3, it's like sitting on ice. It's extremely cold, even at 1. I have to put it down to 1, and it's not, well, it is still fairly cold outside at around 14 degrees right now. Can't even see where is it? I can't see what temperature is outside. Oh, 15 says. But these are insanely cold. Like right now, it feels like I'm sitting on ice, just on the front. In the back, I don't feel it too much, but it is really cold. So I keep them off most of the times, but when you're in the summer, it's going to be really comfortable getting back into the car and then just going into that. Otherwise, we also have auto hold, which is obviously a function. We have downhill assistant, parking sensors, you can turn it off, and like I said, the differential lock with the all-wheel drive system. And otherwise, it gets you up to speed the way you want it. Car is going to weigh in at around between 1.6 down to up to 1.7, depending on what you have. Otherwise, there's really not much I can complain about this car. You even got blind spot assistance, adaptive cruise control, like I said. You can also opt for the HDA 1.5, which is the updated Autobahn assistance for I think around 800 or 600 euros extra. And then you'll be completely total out with the safety features and, well, assistant features, which really makes this car quite comfortable, safe to drive, great quality, and really not much to claim about, apart from sometimes the beeping, but I haven't had that much beeping in this car compared to some other Hyundai models. So let's talk about some competition and also do a final verdict on this car. You can pick up a Kia Sportage with basically the same engine. It's quite a similar car, just with a little bit of a different design and a couple other features. They currently run a special offer with 5,000 euros of discount, so almost fully spec'd out with the same variant of the diesel variant. You're going to be looking at around 44,000 euros currently, so a little bit cheaper than this one. And I think even when it doesn't have the summer sale, I call it, it's around 2,000 euros still cheaper. Then you can also get a Ford Kuga for around 40,000, but without a diesel. Then you can also get a Mazda CX-5, which is going to have 150 horsepower with a diesel for around 38,000 euros as a starting price. And also you can get the Skoda Karoq for around 38,000 with 114 horsepower as a diesel as well. I think the car, the way it's standing here, does look good. It has very good equipment inside, comfortable to drive, especially with also that adaptive suspension. Very good standard equipment when it comes to the car. Primeline, in my opinion, one of my favorite variants, if not the best that you can choose for this car. And in general, a very good all-rounder. Maybe just a little bit increase on that towing hook would have been a little bit nice. Otherwise, I think it's a great car. What do you think of the car? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.